All right, so I'm Brett from the Skateboarding Show, and I'm here with this gentleman. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Jim Langran, 26, and we've just finished skating Vert here at Creation in Birmingham.
On a Monday night session.
On a Monday night session, but then the Monday night session's been at least a 10-year regular occurrence. So yeah, the Monday nights are good.
So 26. When did you start skateboarding?
I would have started skating in 2005 or 6. So about 12 years ago.
Okay.
I grew up about half a mile from here in South Birmingham, and the park was really heavily advertised when they first opened it. There was like loads of adverts in the newspapers and that, and I think I was looking for stuff to get into when I was just starting secondary school. So yeah, I used to roll down here. My mum used to drop me off, and this vert scene has been going on since 20 years before I got into it. So when I started rolling up, dropping in minis and that, I was watching. I feel like I've done this story a bunch of times, but I was watching Dave Allen and Sean and Jim the Skin and Magnum and those guys shredding it, and that was always a wow. Like, I want to drop this mini ramp and then drop that bigger mini ramp, and that's the vert ramp that I want to be pushing towards.
So, did you ever do street skating? Did you
go out
on the street?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of it. I mean, I had friends that I got into skating with when I was 13, 14, and we used to roll around and try and do little kickflips, but at the same time that I was going out and skating street with my mates and doing, ollies down 3 sets, I was learning to skate vert with Sean Goff. So like, it was just it was almost like a different world. I went messing around the streets and then I'd go skating, and then all my friends dropped out of it, but Sean's not going to drop out of it until his legs fall off. So yeah, that
or Jim the Skin or any of those other.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Dave Allen,
Jim is what I'm going to get it wrong now. Jim's, I want to say 49, 50.
It's got to be at least that.
Yeah, and Jim is still here sweating his ass off tonight, putting lines together.
And shredding, hard.
Like out of, oh no, shit, he's going to be over 50, isn't he? But out of people his age group, Jim is now, obviously, anyone his age group is still shredding is rad to see. But yeah, I was lucky enough to get in with that group.
Because that is quite a group to have as your mentors, as your like people that you're skating with. I mean, yeah, every name you've mentioned there is a name without wanting to be too
for sure
sycophantic about
it. I think I didn't really get that when I was younger, but now when we go to the big events, and like we were at Norway last week, and you get people walking up to Sean asking for, because he was a big name in the 80s, you get people coming up for autographs and to chat to him. And that was the guy that I'd met in the skate park, and I guess I didn't really think about it like that.
And Dave still got his own board on Death, and Jim still got his own custom shape through
and I think people love to see people still, because you can relate to that, I guess. Like, you can relate to someone like Dave who's pushing himself to relearn his tricks and still got that good style at his age. I can imagine that's pretty rad to watch for a skater in their 40s or 50s.
So so you just mentioned Norway, and I'm really interested in talking to you about that. Describe what you were doing. Was it last week and the week before, or
I went over on the 16th. I think I flew out. So there's an event now that's been running for 5 years, and it's run by, there's a group of skaters in Tjommer, which is an island right on the south coast of Norway, and they run like a skate club in their local park, and they've made a bunch of different efforts to get different investments from the council and from different companies and from the government to get the parks built. So they've got world-class vert ramp, like 100 foot wide, I think it's 12 foot 2 foot vert, perfect skate light, and they petition for money from the government every year to get events put on. So they flew out maybe 10 of us from Europe, and then about 8 people from the States, and about 10 people from Brazil, and I think that's it. I'm sorry if I forgot a name off that list. And they put on like an event for the local community every year. So this is the second year I've got to go along to it, and it's not the biggest event I've seen, but the attention to detail that the local guys have, there's a core group, like at any scene, there's a core group of dudes. There's Carl Benny Hartgard, Jan Thomas, Einar, I'm going to forget names again, I'm sorry, but there's these guys who, every day we're there, like every half hour, things are planned out. They planned out where we're going. We're going to go to this local skate park and do a mini demo, and then the trip back to the hotel is planned out. Those, like I say, like there wasn't any huge investors in it beyond like the local council, but the guys running it had put their heart and soul into it, and it really went to show.
I think that's quite a big deal. So to say that a local council had
Yeah, it's
like
nuts.
funded it. You know what I mean? Not a skate company or a distribution company, but the local council was saying, yeah, this is something worthwhile investing in.
Yeah, I don't know the kind of intricacies of the way municipalities work. So it's Vestfold, I think, which is what Shamma comes underneath, and their mayor had put some money aside for that event, and there was some coaching going on during the week, and a few different demos, and I guess they're using it as like potentially promotional stuff for the area because it's a big tourist area. It's a really beautiful part of the world during summer.
So was there a comp or anything?
There were a few different events on. So the main day was the Saturday, I think it was Saturday the 20th of June. So there was we did like a morning of coaching with local kids, and then there was a best trick comp, high air comp, which is like a Yoki and Sandro Diaz demo, which was really cool to watch. Yeah, like Paul Luke was right in there as well, but yeah, Yoki and Sandro were doing 12-foot airs out of that ramp, and yeah, it was really rad to watch. And then we had another best trick comp run by ProTech, which was really good of them to put some money into, and then there was another best trick comp we did at a park in Sandalfjord, which is a little town, like an old whaling town about half an hour west of Shamma. And then we went to Oslo on the way back and did like a demo there as well.
So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, so although you had those comps on, there was no major one particular comp.
No,
and
not
so
at
what?
all.
Yeah, like so this idea that the counts, so they're just promoting skateboarding, with no particular
End goal.
No,
not at all.
Just look at the skateboarding that goes on here. Look at this facility,
and I guess
look at these
sports,
guys skate it.
Again, I don't know if similar things go on with different sports in the air. I'm guessing they do because, you know, Norway's got a big skiing scene and a big cross-country skiing scene. Football was really big there, so I'm presuming that similar investments happen in similar cultural things around the area. Yeah.
And so two questions. We'll start with what do you, as somebody who's been invited out to take part in that, what do you get out of that? And I don't mean like financially. I mean like in terms of the something else. You know, what do you? So what's the experience you get?
This is the second year I've been to it, and I've definitely both years, I say the week after it is the healthiest I've ever felt. Right. And that we spend a week eating good food put on by the hotel and by the skaters, swimming and jumping in the ocean every day, sitting in a sauna every day, and then skating for like 3 or 4 hours. I mean, like there are guys there who like skating is their job, and you know that's a good way of them to get to Europe and potentially earn some money, like you said. But for me personally, as like an amateur skater, like that's the best holiday I could ever ask for. And just eternally grateful to be lucky enough to be on the list of people asked along to it. And the chance to get to ride, like there's a bigger community than I used to be involved with, but there's quite a like limited community of people traveling around skating Vert, and it's really cool to, you know, meet up in Norway with a bunch of really cool guys from the States and guys from Brazil. And spend a week on a perfect ramp skating in the sun. And just have the best sessions.
And so then the counter to that is the youngsters, or maybe not even so young, the people who come and watch it and interact, and I mean, obviously the lessons, what they get out of that is the opportunity to skate with you really good guys and to get some hints and tips from you. But do you think there's other stuff perhaps that they get out of this experience? Because like you say, it covered quite a few days, didn't it?
Yeah, we were there for. I was there for 8 days, and then there were some people who had been out earlier. There was a bowl comp over in. I want to say, I forget, some on the opposite side of Norway, there've been some big bowl comps. There are about 4 or 5 of the Americans who've been out for about 2 weeks. And I mean, I definitely say that as a youngster, being exposed to watching European pro skate and American pro skate, that's something that really pushes you, you know, seeing that live. So, I mean, hopefully there's some local skaters there who've watched the guys ride and then thought, wow, like that's what I want to get involved with, and Vert's what I want to push myself to. And they've got the ramps there. I mean, in that area of Norway, there's like 4 or 5 incredible ramps in driving distance. So
wow.
Yeah, if there are any kids in Norway who want to get into Vert, they're definitely able to do it.
I think that's a really big deal what you're saying about watching Vert live. You know, I've seen it myself if I've brought people here who have never seen live Vert skating, and just the look on their face of like, oh wow, like geez, this, right, okay, now I kind of get it.
Yeah, I remember watching, I think it was an interview with Tony Hawk about when he first got into riding like big transition stuff, and his thing is like, why don't more people get how, like the sessions that go on here are just the best things I've ever been involved with. Like tonight, being able to come here, like if there's any sort of stress from the work or day or whatever it is, you get 3 hours with some really cool guys flying off of a ramp and, you know, having a really good time doing it. I feel really fortunate to have grown up close enough to a ramp like this, and to have the people riding it to get to do these sessions 3 or 4 times a week, because it's just the best thing in the world.
Yeah, it's amazing. We're really lucky. Really lucky, because a good vert ramp at the moment is relatively hard to come across by looks of it.
Yeah,
I mean, we were just discussing in there like the plight of the skate park.
Yeah,
especially with the hot weather.
I mean, things are always going to be in flux. I think the UK has been kind of lucky in the last couple of years. So we had this ramp resurfaced, we had Mount Hawke resurfaced, the ramp in Taunton's popped up.
Yes.
But then at the same time, you know, Manchester, sadly we lost Beast ramps. I'm trying to think of other ramps. I mean, Southsea's popped up recently, but that's kind of, I think, a bit in flux. But yeah, so looking at Scandinavia, like with some investment from the council, they've got so many good ramps over there.
Wow.
So yeah, hopefully that scene's going to keep growing, and the council's going to think, wow, this is something we want to keep investing in.
It kind of sounds to me like Norway, and definitely the area that you were at, has an understanding that skateboarding and vert ramp riding, whether you be on a skateboard or BMX or whatever, is a worthwhile thing for people of any age to be doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like they dismiss it as like just some sort of toy. It sounds like they understand this is a thing.
I think Norway's got an interesting relationship with skating. So it was made illegal in Norway for about 15 years. From, again, I'm going to get the years wrong, I think like mid-70s to about 1990.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting now that it's been pushed heavily, and also because I think the skateboarding culture there is quite young as a result.
Right.
And there's not, as far as I'm aware, there's not been a huge street scene for that long. So maybe it's not seen, like in the UK, it's kind of associated with a lot of social ills. Maybe that doesn't happen as much. And the council, the government in general, you know, Norway's lucky enough to have a large... Norway's lucky enough to have like a large, you know, I mean, they run a surplus every year, for as far as I'm aware, the Norwegian government does, and they're quite a wealthy country for, you know, the amount of people they have. So they're probably able to invest in a lot of things. Like the skate hall in Oslo, which was built 2 years ago, is a beautiful building.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful public building, and
that's the one where you can stand underneath the bowl.
Oh
and see
yeah,
all the structure of
it's
it.
built like a tree, and they've like laser etched into the outside of the building in Morse code the law that made it illegal.
Right.
Which is pretty rad. If you ever get to look at any photos of that, it's quite cool to see. And it's
amazing.
Perfectly insulated, you know, perfectly cleaned, and, you know, run by the council as far as I'm aware, with like a bunch of school groups going on.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, it's a good place to transition skating.
Listen up, UK. Listen up. Right, well, yeah, it's getting light, it's getting dark even. The light's going, it's because it's late. We've had a vert sesh. I'm knackered. I really wanted to hear about this Norway stuff because it just sounded so interesting, and and for the last couple of years when I've known you guys, I've seen you disappear off for this thing, and it does look really, really interesting. I'm really hyped and really stoked for you guys that you get to go out and do it.
Yeah, and I think everyone who goes along is stoked on it. It's a really special thing to be involved with, and like I said before, just the biggest thanks to the guys who put months of their year into organising it.
Cool. Well, Jim, what did you say? You're off for a quick swift drink now?
Yeah, I'm going to meet some friends, quick bit, and then I'm working tomorrow morning, so I'm going to turn in early, I think.
Sleep. Yeah, I think it is time to wrap this up and go and get some sleep. So, Monday night sessions. What you do? You do Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, or?
I'll be here Mondays and Wednesdays if I'm in Birmingham, and then the Worcester guys and a few others normally do a Friday night session. And then I'll be on the ramp on a Saturday and on a Sunday if I'm too lazy to go further afield.
Cool. But yeah, as I say, we're at Creation. Maybe you can see that in the background. Maybe it's too dark. This has been Brett with another skateboarding show. Here with a real skateboarder, having just done some real skateboarding in a real skate park with strictly no editing. Say goodbye, Jim.
See you guys.
Laters.